Before we go, let's check in on other discussions in diplomatic circles. "56 people have been sentenced to prison terms of up to 14 years in Egypt for their involvement in the capsizing of a boat that killed over 200 people. The incident is considered one of the deadliest disasters in the Mediterranean crossings of migrants to Europe. The defendants were sentenced to at least 7 years in jail, according to judicial sources, with some sentences extending to 13 or 14 years, with one woman acquitted. The boat capsized off the Mediterranean coast in September last year, and rescue workers and fishermen were able to rescue 169 people, but 202 others died. Families of the defendants were angered by the verdict, claiming their loved ones had nothing to do with the sinking and that coastal guards also had to shoulder some responsibility. Chinese Premier Li Keqiang has encouraged citizens residing in Australia and Australian Chinese to help boost cooperation between China and Australia. He made the call at an evening reception held by Chinese residing in Australia on Saturday in Sydney. He said that China and Australia are committed to protecting free trade, regional stability, and world peace. Emphasizing China's position as the world's largest developing country, which still has a long way to go in its modernization. Li encouraged Chinese in Australia and Australian Chinese to invest in China and act as friendly envoys between China and Australia. Meanwhile, the Chinese premier was in New Zealand on Sunday for a visit expected to center around strengthening trade between the countries. The country became the first developed to sign a free trade agreement with China in 2008 and is looking to upgrade the existing deal after countries including Australia signed FTAs on more favorable terms. Li and his wife Cheng Hong met with New Zealand Prime Minister Bill English and his wife Mary for a private dinner on Sunday at the Premier House in Wellington, with bilateral talks between them scheduled for Monday. Li's visit marks the 45th year of diplomatic relations between the two countries. Leaders of the European Union member states have issued a declaration at the 60th anniversary of the Treaty of Rome with the expectation to reignite the future development of the Union. Signed on March 25, 1957 by France, West Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Belgium and Luxembourg, the treaty marks the establishment of the European Economic Community. 27 state leaders gathered in the Campidoglio Palace in Rome on Saturday, where the 6 founding states originally signed the treaty. It was there they signed a new declaration indicating the direction of development of the EU. The declaration highlights the political, economic and social achievements of the EU, and it is believed the Union has benefited hundreds of millions of people, even while Europe has been blighted by a myriad of rifts and disputes. According to the declaration, the EU is committed to building a safe, prosperous, sustainable and socialized Europe which will present increasing power on the world stage. And finally, German Chancellor Angela Merkel says she's concerned about Israel's building of settlements in the occupied West Bank, which she said was undermining progress towards a two-state solution for Israel and the Palestinian territories. Israel is building settlements in the occupied West Bank and East Jerusalem, seized by Israel in the 1967 war and occupied for nearly 50 years. In this same area is where the Palestinians want to establish their state and capital. She told reporters before her talks with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in Berlin that Germany's position is the need for a positive dynamic to keep the two-state solution. And this is where we end Diplomatic Channel this week. Your comments and questions are always welcome. Do send them to any of these handles, at Diplomatic Chan and at Amarachi_Ubani. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.